Our author here today. Give him a strong, warm, strong.
Thank you everybody for coming out. I can't tell you how much an honor and a pleasure it is to see people whom I grew up with, people whom have supported me, invited me to their events. You understand, we've been in this cycle for a while now in this city of Paterson. I'm thankful for all you, Brother Rashawn. Brother came home and has not yet stopped working to save the community. Brother Bilal, and I'm not going to get all the way into it, but without Brother Jay Sean, there will be no book. Because in the process of creating my book, before I could figure out how to get it from paper to publication, I had to meet the brother who already had 2 books out at the time. He talked to me, I purchased his books from him, and not only that, he showed me the way. You understand? He gave me the breadcrumbs. He said, Dasu, you want to get your book out? This is how you do it. Get somebody to get you a PDF format. Get to the printing company in Totowa, and the rest is history. Thank you, brother. Let me give you a little background on myself. I'm 35 years old as of yesterday, praise God. I can tell you, there was a time when I thought I would not see 21. I thought I would not see 21 because of the lifestyle I lived as a teenager. I got out into them streets early. I'm gonna give you a little background on myself. I was raised by an intelligent, spiritual, beautiful black woman who taught me how to use my words, who taught me that intelligence was power, who taught me to be independent, because for those of you who don't know, I'm an only child. I don't have any brothers or sisters. Came up completely as an only child, but thankful I was in a household full of uncles and aunts. One of my uncles is here right now, Joseph Miller. Back there, that's my uncle. So through coming up under them, they guided me in places where I didn't have an older brother or sister, or in some places a father present. Because I haven't had my biological father in my life since I was 5 years old. But thank God my mother made good choices with the men that she brought into her life, which they in turn to be wonderful father figures for me, yo. So a stepfather I had in my life, he gave me a lot of the guidance. Now when I was growing up in Paterson back in the 80s, I was born in '79, born and raised on Straight Street, right by the post office. In the 80s, I was thinking about this earlier as I was processing how I was gonna go about this event. And I said to myself, in the 80s, I could ride my bike from Straight Street to football practice at Putnam Oval. I could ride all the way up to 5th Avenue. I could go down the hill to Garfield Ave where my family house was. And you flash forward nowadays, you'll be lucky if your child can make it off the block without getting hurt. Or even worse, getting hurt on your front porch. I remember in the 90s, a young boy growing up, listening, learning the culture. Sometimes you would pass the older brothers in the neighborhood and there would be conversations. But these conversations consisted of knowledge, wisdom, understanding, maybe even some history, some real culture. You flash forward nowadays, young brothers coming up, you walk past maybe a conversation, all you hear is guns, fashion, and Instagram pictures. You understand something happened in the culture of Paterson, whereas those of us born back in the day, we can remember a time where the gangs weren't relevant. Do you understand? I'm of that age where I saw the gang culture come to Paterson. I witnessed it with my own eyes. Some of the first members of Blood in the city of Paterson was from my block. I had been on that block since I was about 14, selling crack cocaine since 15, carrying a gun since 16. My mother didn't even know I was bringing a gun home. It would terrify her now. 16, I was already had a gun in the house. Uncle Joe, yeah, I did. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Drugs too. Sorry. So during the process of this evolution in Paterson, I noticed something. What brought that about, and I'm going to go back and forth just a little bit, but what brought about the book, it forced me to look back into my past, and that allowed me to process my city, myself, what I've become, what I did, and where my city as a whole is going. Because when I got to the point of this, I never grew up thinking I would write a book. I was already I used to do my little rap thing when I was 16, like a lot of other kids. So I had the capability to write. and connect words and connect rhymes, so to speak. But I never, not once in my life, grew up thinking, I'm gonna write a book one day. Not once. I was making my way out of the street life. So I was pretty much done with being a gang leader, being on the corner, getting cased up. So I got a job. A blood, who's my homeboy, his name is Storm, some of you may know him, he actually got me the job. This was 2009. We're gonna move around a little bit, but bear with me. 2009, he got me a job. The company was called Glenmark Generics. This was a corporate company. So I felt honored and blessed to even be working there. I'm making $13 an hour, much overtime, bringing in good money. Had an apartment in Elmwood Park. You know, I'm just giving you some background. I'm paying $1,200 rent for a one-bedroom apartment. All utilities, grown man stuff. I'm living my life. I'm thinking that this job is gonna be my transition out of the streets, because prior to that, I had never taken a job serious to the point. Like, I've always had jobs here and there throughout my life, but I never had a job where I said, I'd like to retire from this. Yeah, I could do this. I could get up and do this every day. Making money, good money, I could pay my bills, take care of my family. Yeah, this is it. I was at that job for 1 year and did pretty good for the most part. Till one day, it was December 3rd, 2009, I'll never forget it. I was called into the front office at the end of the workday. At the end of the workday. You know what I'm saying? It's like 4:30 in the afternoon. So bust my butt the whole day. Then, hey, Mr. Moon, we need to see you. Go in the office, sit me down, like, hey, what's up, Doc? What's going on? We gotta let you go, buddy. Whoa. Steve, what? Yeah, we gotta let you go. And in the process of saying that, they opened a file. The file contains my entire criminal record. They're like, yeah, I don't know how we missed this a year ago, but the company went through an audit, so now we found it, and you gotta go. I'm like, damn, right now? Just December 3rd, it's 3 weeks before Christmas. Like, are you serious? Yeah. I cannot tell you, as a man who comes from the streets of Paterson, who at that moment hungered to change his life, not only hungered for it, did a good job, you understand? Got up on time, every day overtime, got that. Let's do it. But something that I did when I was some of y'all ages caught up to me way later on in my life. So things that I did when I was like 18, 19, 20, 21, now I'm at this time 30, 31, and I'm like, I just want to live my life, man. I just want to work, take care of the family, you know, happily ever after. But they said, no, not yet, Mr. Moon. You have to take a few steps back. So when they fired me, it hurt me. I gotta be honest with you. I'm sure you can hear it in my voice. It bothers me to this day. You understand? Because of the, you know, what I put into that. But the point is, opened up the file, had to let you go, went home, crying, grown man, crying. You understand? It affected me so bad that over the next 2 weeks, I couldn't even tell anybody I got fired. I couldn't tell my mother. I couldn't even speak to anybody. You understand? Without the tears coming up. So what do I say to myself as I'm going through this process? I lived the majority of my life as a drug dealer, as a gang leader, not just a gang member, a gang leader in the streets of Paterson. I thought I had did my thing. I'm in Elmwood Park, and you know, some of us, we can move away, get somewhere nice, and we might begin to think we made it. You understand? Things looking a little different out your front door, so you like, oh man, I'm good. I kicked my feet up. This ain't like the hood. You feel me? But God had a different plan. That's all I can tell you, because as I had to look at myself and look at the situation like, okay, I want to go forward, but here's a roadblock. Damn, backwards. I don't like backwards. I don't like moving backwards in life. Regardless of what may happen or what may come, just keep me moving forward, and I'm good with that. So now my point, I had to search myself. So I said, well, how did I get into this position? Well, you was out there on the block, you were selling drugs, you were running in a gang, you were carrying guns. When people with jobs open up files and see guns and drug charges, they don't like that. It scares them. You understand? So I said, wow, you have to completely transform yourself, because going back to the streets was not an option. I was not going to do that. And it was there for me. Am I lying, White? Streets is always there for me, baby. I could have that block tomorrow. You understand? I don't want that. So I had to figure something out. And I said, okay, can't go forward, can't go back. So I said, I have to create something different. I have to revolutionize myself. So I began to write, just here and there, like release the pain. Like it made me feel better. So I started writing. Then I created a short story. The short story also dealt with something that I went through in Queens, New York. Same type feeling.